the reality is many of these solutions that we need, whether for water, for clean energy, for sustainability, have been here for years. And, these technologies are tried, they're tested, they've already been proven in the field, yet they remain underutilized or not fully adopted. And in today's rapid evolving environmental landscape, these technologies are really essential to achieving a meaningful impact. So despite the availability of these technology, despite the fact that we have more and more clean startup, that there's more funding, we continue to fall behind. And that's even more predominant in the water sector, water infrastructure, or water resource management. So technology itself is not enough. As you said, it's trust. You need to build trust with your customer. So you need to go beyond the technical spec, the technical feature. You need to create a collaboration, as I was saying earlier, really working with your customers so that's their shared goal. And what I've done with my customers is really to start with being very authentic and have a lot of communication prior to the projects or the pilot. So, we talk about our successes, but we talk also about the challenges. We talk about our lesson learned. We are transparent with the data so that, we have them visit other customers that have gone through the change. Really important, as I was saying earlier, also engage other stakeholder. I mean, if you work with a community, engage the mayor, engage, the council, get, business leaders within the community. It's very important to get everyone engaged so that everyone has a say and everyone feels, it has an impact. And I think the other aspect also we tend to forget is let's focus on a long-term relationship with that customer, with that community, and not just a single transaction. And I think that's when the trust will happen, and that's when you'll have relationship for the long term. And that's when a pilot becomes a project, and then becomes, an annual program and 2-year program and 3-year program. So really, and it's actually like anything else we do in life. You have to build these relationships and then move on with our with customers and stakeholders.
Brand trust, brand equity is so important when it comes to talking about more sensitive topics like making impact or more values-driven work. Why is brand so important when it comes to helping kind of shape the narrative around those more sensitive topics?
Brand has always been about trust, about credibility, about connection. But I think that brand today matters even more than before, and it actually becomes the real differentiator. I think, as an example, in the past year, we've seen tremendous change in a lot of sectors, and I'll take the water technology sector as an example. And AI is now at the heart of everything, the industry is doing, from predicting pipe breaks and optimizing treatment plan and enabling real-time water quality monitoring. These advances are revolutionary, and they're really going to help water utilities and how community will experience water. But what I find is that we overlook the aspect of trust, of safety, of sustainability, which are non-negotiable for our customers. So, even if you have the most innovative AI solution, it won't scale if the utilities, if the partners, the stakeholder, if the public do not trust the company that's behind. And that's why the brand becomes so important. It's no longer a logo. It's really a promise of that reliability, of that ethics, of that expertise that you're bringing to the table. And I think it's more urgent today than it was before, because AI, as an example, is reshaping the whole water industry. I mean, the landscape is even more crowded now. There's more and more players. So companies need to work, and communities and stakeholders need to work with a company that has a very clear, compelling brand, that has a promise, that's rooted in very strong values, and you need to really work again. It's the same thing that I'm going to repeat, working with these communities, with these customers, with the background that you want to build a lasting partnership with them, that you'll be there for the long term. So what I advise my customer is set these goals with them, lead with purpose, really have clear conversation about what you want to achieve as an organization. For sure, you want to be able to grow your organization, have the revenues, have the profit, but be also honest in the fact that I'm trying to generate revenue, but I'm trying to advance this technology. I really care about what's happening in the field. And I think that basically over time you'll gain that trust, and you'll have customer calling you back with questions. And I mean, I've worked with, actually, in the last 3 years, we've seen a lot of mayors, as I was talking earlier, getting engaged, wanting to better understand what's happening in their community, wanting to better understand the companies they're working with, and really caring about the brand that's involved in their community. So that's a beautiful example of these type of change that we're seeing.
Are you seeing any good opportunities for your clients to lean into it from a marketing communications tool? What kind of trends are you seeing on that forefront?
First of all, AI has truly changed the game in the last year. I mean, I think it's been faster than many of us ever imagined, myself included. So suddenly, you can have access to very powerful tools for content creation, for predictive analytical, for personalized messaging, you name it. But there's also there's a lot of upside. So, efficiency, scale, the ability to reach the right audience that you're targeting at the right moment with a message. The challenge on the other side is with AI, there's a tendency to generate content that may feel familiar, it may feel a bit generic, almost like deja vu. So you really have to double down on brand again, value, purpose. So you need to remember that AI can mimic your style, but it can't fake your purpose. It can't fake your value. So the brand that really break through and really have this good balance of promoting, their mission, their value, their unique signature. So blending that human creativity with the AI efficiency. So that's the right combination. So let AI handle the repetitive, the routine stuff, and let your people really get into the narrative, the emotion, the big ideas. That's what, when you're able to create a memorable campaign that has this human inside, there's this story that people want to connect with, but AI can bring it to scale, which, it's difficult to do as an organization. So AI has raised the bar for everyone. But it's also made originality, creativity, human intuition, strategic mindset more valuable than ever. So don't be afraid. The brands that will stand out are those that will use AI, but not to take over, that unique and genuine differential, to take it just to amplify what you have to share. I'm really looking forward to the next few years. I think we're going to see some really wonderful things happening.
And it extends to this broader idea of storytelling. I know you definitely believe in this and work hard in it from your strategic lens. What value do you see in storytelling when it really comes to more sensitive topics? Certainly the geopolitical environment right now is one in which sustainability can feel really sensitive. So how do you advise your clients to navigate these moments in time, whether it is tariffs or, environmental claims, that sort of thing, but especially maybe from that sustainability lens?
Yeah, I'll go back to branding, because again, that's why branding is so important, because branding becomes your stand. It's in a world where there's a lot of kind of empty promises, we do see it. When you have a strong brand and you kind of plant your flag, and it's about not being perfect, but it's about being clear on what you stand for. It's showing your progress, it's showing your journey, it's showing your vulnerability. So a lot of people talk about storytelling. But you have to really kind of weave in the story, because a lot of people focus on facts and forms, but they do not inspire you. So a strong brand will inspire you. It will kind of transform a sustainability from a compliance checkbox to a story that people want to be part of. It's going to become emotional. It's going to become real. I look at a company like Patagonia, which I was writing about not too long ago. They do this very well. They engage people in the conversation. So when you are in turbulent time and the issues are polarizing, people look for a signal of authenticity. They look for a brand that will consistently live their value, that won't change their value because something is happening in the background, even if it's uncomfortable. And that's when you become a trusted brand, a trusted advisor. What I tell my customer is, actually, when these times are happening, embrace the tension. Don't dodge it. The most powerful brand, and let's use Patagonia as an example, don't tiptoe around these topics. They lean in, they acknowledge the complexity, they invite the conversation. What I say is, it's like anything. If you try to please everyone, you'll inspire and please no one. Also, lead with your values, not your virtue. I mean, stand by your message, what's true to your organization. Don't try to follow a certain trend, because again, it won't look natural. It won't come easy. Um, share your setbacks. I think that I've worked with organization where they were wanting to, or they were trying to hide, or they wanted to mute, and I was saying, no, this is the time to actually be upfront. The other aspect also that I find is that there's this global conversation that may be very heated, but real change happen when you connect with a community, when you connect with the big issue, with the people's lives and their community. So I think we need to really think of, there's all these global conversation, but let's tell stories that resonate at the local level. And these issues might be totally different than what you hear, in the background. The other thing also that I find is that people want to kind of draw a sand line, a line in the sand around their brand. No. This is not the time to pull the walls up. This is the time to build a common ground. It's kind of the reverse. So you need to talk, to try to figure out with that community, at the local level, what do we have? What do we share in common? What are our aspirations? What are the things that, even if they're debates, I mean, what is it that kind of bring us together? And I think that sometimes the most courageous thing to do uh, is ask question instead of giving answer. I mean, if you feel that people are kind of questioning, well, let's turn the debate. Let's open the dialogue, and that's really when your brand goes from not just being storyteller, but it's really kind of a catalyst for real change. I think when you start kind of, someone had told me actually a few years ago, and at the time I didn't really I didn't really truly understand it, but he had said branding is the stage where the hardest stories must be told. And I was like, what is he talking about? But what he was saying is that, especially when things are messy or controversial, don't just stand out, stand for something, like just, kind of try to make things move forward. And I now today really appreciate and really understand what he meant.